Dude, I am having so much fun with Final Fantasy 14. I am shocked on how much fun I'm having with Final Fantasy 14. It's it's an experience. So I will say that it's an experience. Now I haven't finished it yet fully. I think I finished Rome Reborn. I think, because there's still like stories there to be had. So I think I finished like the main section of Rome Reborn. I think. So far, I'm enjoying the hell out of Fantasy 14. So far, that could all change, like my previous experience I had with other games. That might change, but as of right now, dude, I am having so much fun with it. It's amazing. I didn't think that I was gonna enjoy Final Fantasy. Again, the Lost Final. What was the Lost Final Fantasy 7? That was a game that I mostly enjoyed, even though I forgot everything about it. It was a long time ago. The last Final Fantasy 14 I played was it 12? Was it 12? I can't remember. I think it was 12. I think the main character is Vaughn. I think that's his name, and I really did not like that game, so I just stopped Final Fantasy altogether. That actually killed my Final Fantasy love. The drive to play Final Fantasy was that game, and just killed it for me. I was like, no, fuck this. And I don't know, I jumped into 14 because I think they done that 3-month thing. I was like, yeah, you know what, let me just try it. And I played it, but then I stopped. I don't remember why, because I really think some other game came out, and I was just jumped on that, and I just completely forgot about 14. I forgot what that game was, but yeah, I just stopped playing 14. But then, what drew me back to 14 was, well, one, I needed like a game where it's like a never-ending game. I'm not sure if that makes sense. Like, I wanted to play a game that's never-ending. I don't want to say looter shooter, but it's like something like that. It's not predatory. That's not, wasting my time. Not too much grind. Even if there is a grind, at least let it be fun. That sort of thing. So the game that filled the void for me was Warframe. Now, throughout the time I played Warframe, I jumped back into it maybe once. So when I played Warframe, I quit for long periods of time. Then I jumped back into it. That was just one time. But then nowadays I just stopped playing it because of all the bullshit. But what got me into Warframe was the aesthetics. I liked the way the Warframes look. And I thought to myself, if they put so much time into this and the gameplay looked good as well, maybe the story is good. Maybe the lore is good. So at that time when I was playing Warframe, there was no story. Like, I didn't even know who I was half the time. I was just this thing. I was just this Warframe just going around planets, killing bad guys, apparently. And I mean, the gameplay was great, but I need more than that. I need a story, so I just stopped playing for a while. Even though there were some classes. Is it classes? No, just stick to Warframe. There were some Warframes that I really did enjoy. So it was just like, but there's no story to it. I just stopped. But what got me back into Warframe that first time is the same thing that actually got me back into recently made me go back to play Final Fantasy 14, was the hype for the patches / expansions, I guess. With Warframe, there was this expansion that everyone was talking about. There were 2 of them. And then people was like, oh my god, Second Dream was amazing. Oh my god, the War Within was amazing. And it was. It was fantastic. When I played those 2, I don't know what you call them, patches, expansions, or whatever. Those 2 updates, War Within and Second Dream, it blew my mind. It blew my mind. I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. This is amazing. And that's what and the story just blew my mind. And then afterwards, I just kept playing the game for a long time. I enjoyed Warframe at that time. But then over time, it just got repetitive, dull, And even the next update, what was it? I forgot what the next update was. And that was also great. But then after that, it was just the company, the developers, they had this philosophy of when something fun happens at Warframe, let's nerf it. That was their that's what it felt like. That's what their mentality was. Like, if something's popular within Warframe, if it's a Warframe, certain Warframe, they just nerf it. That's what annoyed the crap out of me, because it took a long time for you to power up and upgrade a certain Warframe. And then one Warframe was called Chroma, and they released this update where it's like a mini open world planet, kinda. And one of the, was it Endgame? Let's just say Endgame. And there's this Endgame boss that you have to fight, and then people were using Chroma to beat him. And then the developers, they were like, no, normally developers will be like, people are going through this way too quick. Let's change the Endgame boss to make it more challenging. But instead, they did the opposite. They nerfed Chroma. And it was just like, and I was super pissed off at that point, because it's like, I put so much hours into like upgrading this character, and yet you just nerfed him. Like, what was the point? Like, why am I wasting my time grinding? Oh my god, the grinding. In Warframe community, the meme of farming is hilarious, because that's what it is. You're literally farming for resources, for Warframe parts, everything. And it was too much. The pointless grinding, like, it took like a month or two just to get the parts you want, to get the resources you want. The nerfing, the pointless updates. Jeez, no true end game. It's like the developers don't know what game they want to make. Like, they don't know which direction to choose. Like, I even know there was raids in the game, but they took out the raids, because I thought, they took it out because they want to improve it, to update it, make it, fun to play. But to my knowledge, it hasn't even been returned yet. How long has it been? It's been like, what, a year? I think. I could be wrong, and I'm gonna concede that I am probably wrong. But to my knowledge, it hasn't been returned yet. It's like, what the fuck's going on? And I just stopped playing. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm just done. And it's the same thing, not the same thing, but what got me back into Warframe is the same thing that I'm hearing from Final Fantasy XIV, is the expansions. Is with Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers. Everyone's raving about them. I'm like, oh my god, Heaven's Ward is amazing. Oh my gosh, Shadowbringers was amazing. It's the same feeling that I had with Warframe. And it's like, and then when I played Warframe, playing those updates, it was fantastic. I was like, you know what? Why am I denying myself possibly like a great experience? Let me actually like play the game and go through the expansions or whatever. And it was an MMO, like a true MMO. And it's like, oh god, there's some things in MMO. Like, the first MMO that I played fully, like full on for a long time, was Star Wars: The Old Republic. And then it got really weird. I had that sense of like the developers have no idea where they're going with the game story wise, because it's a heavy story based MMO, and I had to learn the terminologies, and I had to learn things like what I'm supposed to do, what I'm not allowed to do. I learned what classes are. Like, I know what a ninja is. Because I think was there a raid? I don't know if it's a raid or something, but I was with my friend. He was showing me the ropes of MMO because I never played it before. And you know where you open a chest or something and you get these items, these gears or whatever? I had this mindset of, like, let me take as much gears as I can, and the gears I don't need, I can sell it off or whatever, or trade it or whatever. And apparently I'm not supposed to do that. He's like, people called it being a ninja or something like that. I was like, oh shit, I fucked up. But then obviously I stopped playing that game as well, because like I said, they had no idea what they're doing. And I got hit with a bug, because this is a BioWare game. You could romance characters, which makes you strongly attached to the game and the characters and stuff. But a bug hit, and erased all the romance options that I had in the game. Not just the romance I was currently having, but all possible future like romance. It just cuts off. I was like, what the fuck? And I told customer service, and they did not help at all. And like, oh, we added something in the future line that will help you put back your romance. But then people were complaining that it really didn't work. I'm like, hey, look, this bug hit here, and people were complaining that it's not registering the romance. Can't you at your end just like register it back or something? Like, oh no, it's fixed, but it wasn't fixed, and I wasted my time. I was like, you know what, fuck this, and I just stopped playing the game. And then fast forward to Final Fantasy 14, and it's just like, you know what, let me just try this game out, why not? And honestly, I am loving it so much. It has its problems. There are some things that I really, really don't like about Final Fantasy 14, but overall, I am enjoying it. I done some slight research on it before I start playing it, like what class I want to choose. The class that I'm maining right now, with the only class I'm playing that's I unlocked, is Monk. That's the class that I started with, that I'm playing right now, solely because it has that Street Fighter, Dragon Ball Z-esque thing going on, and I was just like, you know what, fuck it. And when I was playing through it, I mean, obviously every MMO has this, I assume. But with this game, like when I'm playing with Monk, it started out very slow, but then over time I'm seeing myself becoming more powerful, more like my kicks and my punches becoming more powerful, more fast. I'm unlocking new abilities, and it's like, oh my god, it feels like I'm Ryu from Street Fighter or some shit like that. It's like I'm Goku or something. It's amazing. And the story in Final Fantasy so far that I'm playing, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. It's an experience, even though there are some things that scares the living crap out of me. And one of them is like dungeons and stuff like that. Like, for example, like the gameplay that's showing right now, I'm playing a dungeon. I don't even know what dungeon was this. I just recorded it just for the sake of recording it. But like I was so scared. Like, it's just, then the game was like, because the thing is, it felt like a solo-ish game. Like, it's your personal story and you're going through it. But then it just hits you with, hey, now I play with other people. And it's just like, but I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know. I mean, thanks to my experience in Star Wars, I kind of know what to do, but at the same time, I don't. Like, Limit Break, I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I remember, like, playing a dungeon, people were like, use Limit Break. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is, but the game doesn't tell you. Only when I knew what it was. And but then I used it more frequently, but I didn't know that Limit Break it's shared around with other people. I thought it was just my own, but I just kept spamming. And it's just like, it's one of those games where it's like a solo experience mixed with a multiplayer aspect, but it doesn't like teach you about either one. There's no practice run for it, and it's fucking. It's weird. It's like one of those things that I really didn't like. So I was having like this anxiety, like before I clicked D, and I took a deep breath. I was like, whoo! And I just played, which was funny because I'm playing Monk, which is DPS, and one sweet thing that I found out about this game. I haven't played World of Warcraft, but I'm assuming that you have to create a new character if you want to choose a different class. Like, if you want to be a tank or a healer, you have to create a new character. I think. I could be wrong. But in this game, you can still have the same character, but unlock different jobs, like different classes. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And it's... And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, but DPS is easy. You just, wherever's there, just kill it. Like, wherever, like all the small... enemies, just kill them off, then take on the big one. It's easy. It's piss easy. That's probably the reason why I picked DPS, because I'm a massive pussy when it comes to like playing in a group. But with tanks and healers, they have a huge responsibility. It's like, oh wow, like if I'm feeling like this, imagine what a tank and healer must be feeling. So yeah, that was a trying experience. But again, I'm maining Monk. I'm loving Monk so so far. And thanks to this COVID thing, I'm just staying at home. I'm thinking, geez, I need to do something. So I was exercising, I was going for a jog, I'm playing as a monk. It seemed fitting for me. And the lore and the story, even now, I do admit there were some things that I really didn't understand. But overall, I'm enjoying the fuck out of this game. But like I said, there are some things in this game that I really don't like. And most of them just comes from story. Like, okay, there's these beings called, what are they called? Primals? These godlike beings. And the summoner or groups of people come together and give birth to this godlike beings through crystals. And they just imagine this godlike being. They pray for it, and then the being manifests. And then you have to fight it. Now, one of my problems I have with this game, story-wise, it's like they make you and the characters around you dumber to move the plot forward, and it happened way too many times. It annoys the fuck out of me. Like one of the tribes were summoning this primal, this godlike being, and for some reason my character and his companions around them, they just stood there. They're just standing there. I'm like, do something. They're just standing there. And it happens so many times where it's like the IQ start dropping. I'm like, fight. Stop it. Don't just stand there. Just like, oh my god, they're summoning a godlike being. They're summoning a primal. I'm like, then do something. Don't just stand there. And they just stand there with it. Oh, jeez. And it happened way too many times where it's just like, that's one of the frustrating, like, it disconnects me from the character. Like, my avatar is disconnected from the whole story. It's just, that disconnection is happening way too many times. Like, for example, there's one character, and she's upset, and it's a character that you've grown fond of, like you cherish this character, and your character's not saying anything. He's just standing there, and then the character just walks away. I'm like, say something! Don't just stand there, do something! That's the problem that I have. There's so many disconnected moments, and it's just like, oh my god. And there was some, and what else I didn't like? Some characters, I mean, it's not like I didn't like characters. That's not true. Some characters I like, they're not, at that point, the point I'm playing on, they're not flushed out as I wanted them to be. They're just there. Like, I barely knew half their names. It's only when the cutscene happens further into the story where they speak that I'm hearing the character's name. They're like, oh, that's how you pronounce her name, Yashtola. Oh, that's how you pronounce the guy's name, Papalima. Most of the time I'm like, I have no idea. But by not knowing how to pronounce their names, it's disconnecting me from these characters. It's weird, but that's how I am. I'm not sure if that's how other people are, but that's how I am. So for the longest time, it's like I'm just going through the motions of the story, and it was weird. And the story's not gripping me as much. It's only like further along in the story that the story is actually getting to me, that I'm actually growing attached to these characters. Thancred, like all of them. Even though there were some characters that are pointless to me. And one of those characters is like for example, Minfilia. Obviously, when I first saw Minfilia, it was like love at first sight. Obviously, that's one of the bonus about this game. A lot of waifus. And then when I first saw it, I was like, okay, I'm in love with this game. I'm going to keep playing. But when I saw this, I was like, okay. For now, this game has my allegiance. So, Minfilia, as a character, I like her. I really do. She's nice. She's compassionate. She could coordinate people nicely. I like her as a character. But, and I know this is going to piss off a lot of people. I understand that. I'll probably going to get killed for saying this. But she's useless. Honest to God, she is so useless. Because throughout the entire game, when I first saw her, I was like, oh, she's really cool. For obvious reasons. But then over time, it was just like, my God, what do you do? Why are you so useless? And the reason why I'm saying this is because, now, the Scions, I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. The group she leads, which I'm the character you become part of. It's like there's these really cool, powerful individuals within the Scions. Thancred, Papalimo, Y'shtola. And you could see that they could carry their own. You could see that they could handle they could handle themselves in a fight. You could see that. And when push comes to shove, these guys they're not to be fucked with. You know what I mean? So when I could clearly see that, even though I haven't seen it, I could clearly see like they're not to be fucked with. Because the Scions, there's these elite individuals in that group focusing on the cause. So when I saw Minfilia, who's a leader of the Scions, I was like, holy crap, she must be like Master Yoda or something, where it's just like, yeah, she's calm, collected, understanding, but when push comes to shove, she will kill you just like that. But that never happens! That never happens! She's weak! I completed Robot Born. Maybe in the future expansion she's like this badass, but from what I've seen, she's so weak. She doesn't do anything. Like, she doesn't fight. Like, there was this one point where the Scions are in trouble, right? And then there's this enemy that confronts her, but she's like, she doesn't do anything. She just holds up her hand. She's like, she literally can't do anything. I'm just like, what the fuck? All she does, she just puts her, you know how that anime thing where the girl does where she can't do anything, where she has her hand, she placed her in her heart, you know, like she can't, like she's thinking deep thoughts, but she can't actually do anything. Like, there's something in front of her, but she can't actually do anything. I'm just like, can you not actually fight? Like, I swear to God, there's a blade in the left or right side of her trousers or whatever. Can you not fight at all? Like, can you not do anything? I'm like, really? You're the leader of the Scions, yet you can't fight? Really? Is that what you do? It's like, and then I'm assuming people are like, yeah, but she could coordinate the Scions. Why? But Tataru could do that. Why? I mean, if that's the requirement, why can't she be the leader of the Scions? Because she could do it well. And it's just one of those things, just like, what? I mean, especially at the end of Realm Reborn, where things, when push comes to shove, you don't see her actually do anything. Like all the other members. For fuck's sake, even Papalymo. Like, I'm just watching, like, all the other characters, they could hold their own. They could fight. Like Y'shtola, holy shit, the things she could do. And I'm just like, why is she not the leader of the Scions? I'm like, what do you do? It was frustrating. It's like, at one point, I take it back, in a sense that at one point, I called it the Sakura of Final Fantasy 14. And now I think about it, I think that's going way too far. Because but she's so useless. I mean, the useless thing, I think that's why I linked it to Sakura, but Sakura as a character, I mean, Jesus Christ. Sakura from Naruto, but it's just, oh my god. She was disappointing. I mean, she'll probably change my mind in the future expansions, but my god. And the things I see of her now, I'm like, why are you here? Why are you the leader? Like, why? I mean, I guess you put them all these characters together because you share a goal, but what can you do? Can you fight? Can you do anything without relying on me? Like, hey, you do this. I'm like, okay, but what are you doing? You just gonna sit in your desk? Like, what do you actually do? When push comes to shove, you stand there. Oh my god, my god. Again, she may change my mind, but I mean, I don't know. Okay, that's enough from Minfilia. But overall, I'm loving the game. But the one thing that actually got me into the game was, I didn't know about this, is that I knew they shut down, because when the game first released, it was shit. Like, it was so bad that they just stopped the game just to improve it and then re-release it again. But I didn't know, because I watched the trailer, right? I'm pretty sure the trailer is called The Realm Reborn, where the end of the world event happened. And I did not know that they made the real life shine down the server of Final Fantasy 14. They made that canon in a way. They turned that into a story, and it's part of the lore in Final Fantasy. So the game was shit. They stopped the game. They stopped all the servers, but they turned it into like an end of the world event that's in the game. And then when Realm Reborn came out, it's like, this is what happens after. I was like, holy shit, it blew my mind. I'm like, holy shit, they actually, it's just like, that kind of thing deserves respect, and is what got me into back Final Fantasy 14. It was just one of those things where it was like, because when I first played it, that it was a Realm Reborn. I played the Realm Reborn first time because it had that 3-month thing, and I was just like, you know what, let me just try it out. But I didn't know the story before. Like, I didn't play. I don't know what Final Fantasy 14 that was, but the first time it was launched, people said it was shit. And then they stopped in Realm Reborn. I played Realm Reborn. I didn't play that first one. The when I played Realm Reborn, I did not know that previous, when they shut the server down, they made that into a story, like this end of the world event. And it's in the lore of Final Fantasy 14. So once you play Final Fantasy 14, they make reference to that. I think they call it the Calamity, I think. And it was just like, holy crap! That is smart! That is awesome! That is like, I have to play this game because I have to respect that. That's smart. I don't know. Maybe there are other games that did the same thing, but this is the first time I know of it, that I experienced it. I'm like, you know what? This game, it deserves my attention. I need to play it, and now I'm playing it, and I'm absolutely loving it. For now, I hope that doesn't change. But for now, because the thing is, I have to take my time because I'm finding out, because with Heaven's Ward, I think that's the next expansion after Realm Reborn. I'm so excited for that. I want to play it. And everyone says how amazing it is. So I'm like rushing through Realm Reborn. But it feels like I'm fighting with the game, because I'm rushing through it. But they keep giving me these more quests and more quests after one another. And it's just like, I just want to get to Realm Reborn. And it's like me and the game are fighting one another, and it's burning me out. So I'm just like, you know what? Let me just slow down. And it's like the excitement. It's like a Christmas present. Like, I want the Christmas present, but the more I reach out for it, the more burnt out I am. It's like that. It's just like, you know what? Let me just relax. Let me just take my time. And then I looked online, like, and I looked at the quest I'm like, how many more quests before Heaven's Ward forever? I didn't know that was actually a meme. I forgot what it's called, 100 quests before Heaven's Ward or something like that. I didn't know it was a meme. And it's just like, I was like, oh wow. It's like, I thought I was the only one feeling this, but a lot of people were. And apparently they cut some quests in between Realm Reborn and Heaven's Ward. But for me, it's still a lot. But I looked at the quest, I'm like, it's not that far. It's not that far. And it's just like, jeez. I'm just I can't believe I slept on this game for so long, and it's so good. It's so good. I can't believe I slept on the game for so long. But the true test for me is with the expansions, Heavenworth, Stormblood, Shadowbringers. Everyone's hyping it up, and all I've got to say is, it better be worth it, man. It better be worth it. I don't want to play this game, then play the expansion, turn it, and it's not that good. And it's just like, oh my god. I mean, I can't wait to play it, but my god, it better be worth it. It better be worth it. But as of right now, I'm enjoying this game. Oh god. Thanks for listening. I am going back to playing it because at this point, I'm super addicted to it.